Welcome to the handheld gaming community. This is our first look at the Miyoo Flip. We'd like to thank Lit NXT for sending us a review unit. We really appreciate that. And on behalf of all the review panel for the handheld gaming community, we'd like to say thank you for the review unit. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at what was in the box that I just got today. So first thing was, I got a case for the Miyoo Flip. It looks like a little 3D printed case, but it'll certainly protect the device well. So that's pretty great. And the other thing I got was a little lanyard that can hook into that case so we can hang on to it. And that's just the case that came in. Let's see, and then I got the Miyoo case. I got to turn that around. This is the included case for the Miyoo Flip, so that's really nice as well. And then I also got a memory card. It's a branded SanDisk card. It actually has a Surwish CrossMix OS on it. That is an OS that includes a whole bunch of games. It is worth noting, just for reference, that the handheld gaming community does prefer that any game you're playing on an emulation device you actually have a legal copy of that you own. So just for reference, any game that we demonstrate here, we will have a physical copy of. But your mileage may vary. You'll have to make your own judgment call there. Okay, let's see what's in the little case. So we have a screen protector, which I'll apply later. I have a nice USB-A to USB-C cable, which is very handy. Then let's see, what else do I have in the case? I have a USB micro SD card reader, so you can put your micro SD card in the end, and then you can use that to load up any content that you want to on this card. Let's see, you also have an instruction manual. Most of it's in English, so that's handy. It's always handy to be able to read it. And then you have the device itself. If you look at the bottom, you see a USB port and a headphone jack. On the side, you see a micro SD card slot and also a volume control. If we look on the back, you'll see the 4 shoulder buttons, plus another USB-C cable or USB-C port, and a micro HDMI port. On the other side, we have the power button and also the power light indicator and also another micro SD card slot. So now on the bottom, this USB-C port is the one that's going to be used for charging. I say the bottom, and I'm using this as a reference. See? So the bottom one is for charging, and the top is for OTG accessories. For example, USB-C controller or USB controller. So, all right, let's put that down and let's open it up. Here we are. So this is the Miyoo Flip opened up. Now, in past iterations of the Miyoo Flip, there were concerns about the hinge. However, this one seems to have a pretty sturdy hinge. It's very clicky when you open it up, but it seems pretty sturdy and seems solid. Okay, so now let's turn this thing on. Hopefully it has some charge to it. I put the micro SD card in the left side. The Ambernic devices treat the left side as the primary card. We'll see if that holds true. So let's turn this on. Hopefully it has some charge in it. There we go. Look at that. Starting right up. Now, these devices run Linux, as most of these smaller devices do, like Ambernic, Miyoo, devices like that, TrimUI. All right, so this is the main menu. You have favorites, which we have not set anything as our favorites yet. We have games, and let's see. We have collections and apps. All right, so there we go. Now, the D-pad is really nice on this. You can see it's very clicky, very easy to move around. That's pretty good. So you should be able to do the Hadoukens in Street Fighter. Now this center button is the menu button. If you press that down, you can refresh ROMs, or when you're in a game, it'll bring up a menu. Now the face buttons are also very nice. And I just turned it off, which is awesome and brilliant. But that's okay. Let's look at these. Let's look at these face buttons some more. Very nice, very clicky. But none of the buttons are too loud, so that's good. You have your start and select button. Then, of course, you have your analog sticks. Each of the analog sticks you can press down, so you have an L3 and an R3, so that's pretty good. I'm not entirely sure how accurate these will be, but we can test that out later. So let's turn this back on. I promise I will not shut it down inadvertently again. Just have to wait for it to start up. Okay. We're almost there. Okay, so here we are again. So let's check out the systems. Well, first we have to take off the little plastic screen protector. We'll put on a new screen protector shortly. But let's go ahead and look at what systems are on the device. There are quite a few. So you see you have Amiga, you have Amiga CD32, Amstrad CPC, some arcade emulators. Go to the next page. Here we have all kinds of them here. So you have pretty much any system, all the way from Atari 2600 all the way up to Dreamcast. It looks like even Nintendo DS. It is worth noting again, we encourage you to actually own the games that you're going to play on these handheld devices. That is, of course, up to you because it includes this. So whether you play games you own or not is up to you, but that's it. So we're back, and we want to note that you probably noticed that all the systems didn't have images on them, and that looked a little strange. Well, I figured out that I put the SD card in the wrong side of the device because when I started going through some of the games, none of them would launch. So that's obviously a problem. So I put the SD card originally on the left side, but I found out that I actually have to put the SD card on the right side. So you can see when I turn it around here that I have the SD card in the right side, and when I boot it up, it'll actually look a little bit different now, and it'll have all the pictures and images, as it should. Okay, so immediately you see that we have a background image now, and we have different icons for the sections. So we still have the recent, we have the favorites, we have games and collections, apps, and then settings. So pretty great. Let's look at our games, and you'll also see that each system has its own icon, which looks a lot nicer than the no icon that we had there before. That's it for our first look at the Miyoo Flip. You can go to litnxt.com and use code MF15 for 15% off a Miyoo Flip. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our review once it comes out. Have a wonderful day.